Hey guys, it's Katherine, and today we're throwing away our old movies. So why am I throwing out old movies like Beauty and the Beast by Disney, you might be asking? Well, personally, I've been feeling pretty convicted lately about keeping movies in our house that I don't plan on ever letting our kids watch. After quite a bit of study and review, I have come to the conclusion that I do not want my kids watching things that have to do with sorcery, witchcraft, dark and evil magic, anything that could hinder cultivating a happy and sincere and uplifting spirit in themselves. You know, the Bible says in Psalms 101 verse 3, it says, "I will set no wicked thing before my eyes. I hate the work of them that turn aside, and it shall not cleave to me." First off, I want to say that this is actually kind of hard for me. These are movies that I grew up with. I grew up with Beauty and the Beast. I grew up with Toy Story, Bambi, things like that. And it's hard for me to let go of these things. Technically, if I'm not going to let my kids watch them, I'll probably never watch these again. So it's hard, you know, because there's that emotional attachment. But I thought about it and I was like, what am I attached to? Am I attached to the storyline? And when I really thought about it, you know what? The one thing that came to my mind was the music. The one thing that I like about Beauty and the Beast is the songs. The one thing that I like about almost all of the Disney movies specifically is the music. It's not even necessarily the fact that this young beauty is falling in love with a beast. It's not about that. It was about the music and what I associated with it. So yeah, it's really hard for me to get rid of this stuff, but I don't want my kids watching it. I don't want my kids to think that dark and evil magic is okay. And I grew up with it, and you might be like, well, you turned out all right. And yes, but I always wondered like, oh, like in Snow White, oh, she like puts this evil spell on the apple, and when she eats it, she'll die. It makes me wonder where she's getting her magic and the spells and the evil, and where is that coming from? So as a child, you may pass by it, but when you get to a certain age, you're going to be thinking about that and dwelling on it. And the Bible says not to be dwelling on evil things. So that's what I'm doing today. I am getting rid of our old movies. Currently, we are in my entryway. What you're looking at here is my bench. And inside, I've been storing these old VHS tapes. Some of them are Disney, and some of them are like Warner Brothers, things like that. So I'm going through them currently. I'm going to get rid of some. So one of the reasons that I wanted to do this today is because I was watching a really good YouTube video about the Disney deception. I'll link it below. Basically, it talks about Walt Disney and a lot of the things that he was into and how that influence affected his movies. You can see it. You can really see how even though these Disney movies have a bright tone to them, they do have like darker undertones and witchcraft embedded in almost every single film. And so I really wanted to go through our movies because I don't want that influence on my children. I feel like there's such a war for our children's minds. They are very easily influenced by what they see. So if I can have any kind of effect on my kids in a positive way, I need to strip out all the negative things that they may see as much as possible. Now, by me doing this, that's not saying like, oh, they'll never watch a Disney film again. But I do try and pre-screen everything that they see. Their grandparents also know what they are allowed to watch and what they're not allowed to watch. I know that I'm not going to be able to shelter them from everything that's out there. But if I can try and filter through the majority of the negativity and the sorcery and the witchcraft in my own home, at least they haven't seen that and it won't be affecting them for years to come. Me, myself, I absolutely adore a lot of these movies, but what damage or what did that take me away from and what I could have learned more about God and my Christian faith had I not been watching these fairy tales. So far today I've weeded out a bunch, but I have actually 3 more spots at my house to go through, including our DVDs and some other hidden areas that I have had movies hiding in our house. So far I've weeded out Hunchback of Notre Dame, Bambi, All Dogs Go to Heaven, a Goofy movie, Robin Hood, Atlantis, The Brave Little Toaster, Peter Pan, not all of these I'm saying are bad. I'm just saying they have something in them that I've seen that I don't want my kids to see. Like specifically, The Hunchback of Notre Dame deals with sorcery. I mean, the girl that saves him is a witch. All dogs go to heaven. If you read the Bible, they don't. So I don't want to mislead my children. Robin Hood, he's stealing from the rich to give to the poor, but I don't want to teach my children to steal regardless. Atlantis, that's about like a lost city, but they also have a lot of sorcery and witchcraft, and the whole city is built on this like magical like diamond thing. But I mean, a real, like, and that's where they get their power, but real power comes from God. So it's another like misconception or misleading them. So this is just a few of the ones that I've gone through. So I thought it'd be cool for you guys to kind of see as I weed through the rest. I also wanted to note that my husband has no idea that I am doing this right now, and when he gets home, we're going to make a trip to the dumpster, and he has absolutely no idea that we're about to throw all this stuff out. Some of these I'm sure he has an emotional connection to also, but it's too bad because I don't want our kids to see that, and I'm sure he'll understand and agree. I'm just gonna kind of go through some of these so you can get an idea of what I'm kind of looking for on what to throw out. So like the Wizard of Oz. I don't believe in wizards. I love this movie, but there's also two witches, a good and an evil witch, and I just don't feel like there's a reason for my kids to see it. There's so many other better things out there to watch. I have my kids with me today, so you might see little screams and hands in the frame, like that one. 101 Dalmatians. I was thinking about this earlier, and I was like, I don't think there's any witchcraft or anything evil about it. She herself has like a strong, simple nature, but I feel like that is an okay one. And it's all like preference, I think. It's all, well, not what you prefer, but it's what you feel convicted on that you should get rid of. So I just realized I have two Beauty and the Beast. That must be a really bad movie because it's trying to get in here twice. Then I have 101 Dalmatians and the cartoon version. I feel like Mulan is fine. I'm not remembering anything in Mulan. This guy wants to say hi. You say hi. Hello. Hi. Give kisses. Give me a kiss. Yeah, camera.
Let me see camera.
Yeah, camera. Everybody get in and say hi. Say
hi.
Say we're weeding through our movies. Our movies.
Movies.
We're gonna get rid of some movies.
Movies.
Yeah. All right. Are you guys gonna go play?
Yeah, play.
Say this is a good movie.
It's a good movie.
Good movie. Balto. All right, let's put it back. So I'm gonna go through the rest of these, and then I will kind of show you guys what I do for DVDs. Okay, so now I'm in my living room and I'm going through like all my kids' DVDs, and I kind of came to a stumbling block with Despicable Me and Despicable Me 2 and the Minions movie. And it's funny because when we first got these, my husband was like, I don't like the Despicable Me movies. It promotes the boys to kind of like highlight evil and doing wrong, because if you think about it, the Minions, they work for an evil like boss who does horrible things and steals things. And they technically worship him. And so I kind of saw that, but my husband like was the first person to say something, and I was like, but they're so cute. And we've actually let our boys watch Despicable Me number of times, but I'm starting to feel like I really don't want them to see these anymore, because honestly it doesn't teach them how to read, it doesn't teach them how to talk, because the Minions don't even talk, they talk gibberish, which my son like tries to do too, so like blah, 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 and be crazy. It doesn't really help them, and it teaches them to be bad. And I've seen them try and do stuff that they've done in the movies, and yeah, so but like that's the emotional connection like I was talking about earlier. You'll see something of like, okay, I can get rid of all these movies, but then there's these ones that I have like that attachment to. So I'm taking these, and when my husband gets home, I'm gonna talk to him, but I'm probably gonna get rid of these. I also wanted to know, I'm not just looking for, I said that I wasn't just looking for Disney movies. I was also looking for movies that have like provocative music to them that's made for children, and things that I just feel like have such an overtone of like evil to them, which is kind of hard to detect in a children's movie. You would be like, oh, there's evil in there, but there is. So yeah, I'm just kind of like going off instinct here for most of these, and keeping in mind to not set any evil thing before my eyes or my children's eyes. Next up is me going through my own DVDs, which I am going to have probably an even harder time to do, but I feel like it's really important. We really need this cleansing of things in our home. I also want to note, we don't watch a whole lot of TV as it is already. We spend a lot of time with the TV off, talking to each other. Me and my husband are reading our Bible every day. Our kids kind of just play. So when we do watch movies, a lot of time it is on Netflix, which is a whole nother thing. One of the things I also wanted to mention was like the movie Moana that came out. That's on Netflix, and we've been watching that. And I love the Moana movie, but the one part I cannot get past is the song where he's saying he's a god, Maui, the character. He's saying he's a god and created everything. If a child does not know the truth about how they were created, how the world was created, they might actually believe that Maui created the world. And you might say, well, he's just a character. But to your child, it's more than that. Why do you think Toys R Us and toy companies make so much money? Because they are able to make these small figurines that your children want. In a sense, those small figurines are like idols. They might be idol worshiping, and you're the one who's purchasing these idols. And that might be a little far-fetched, but when you really think about it and you have that conviction, you may see it completely different. That's one of my things with Maui. So even on Netflix, I wish they had an option where you could just like hide a certain film or documentary on there, like once you've watched it, or you decide you don't want to watch it, so then you can really see the stuff that you do want to see. We don't actually have cable in our house. We only have Netflix and YouTube. We have a smart TV, but that's all we use it for. Like I said, we don't watch a whole lot of TV, which is why I think it's kind of easy to be able to get rid of all of these movies. But I felt like even though we're not watching them, I don't want them to be there. They're taking up space in our home, which is also emotional space in our minds, knowing they are there and available for us to watch. So I'm gonna keep sorting through these and just keep watching. So these are the type of films that I'm like keeping for them. Some of them may still be pretty questionable, but stuff like that. And this is stuff that I'm going through. So like Cars, I feel like Cars is pretty good. Even though it's still made by Disney, there's not really any witchcraft. It's pretty straightforward in there. The Never Ending Story, I don't even know why this is in my kids section, but probably, I think I'm going to get rid of that. Throw it over the adults. Wreck-It Ralph, good. I get a lot of our DVDs at Goodwill. Like this one came from Goodwill. It was like $3, but this is actually storybooks that are told kind of like in the Reading Rainbow style. And I like that. Frozen, oh how I love Frozen, but you are full of witchcraft and you're getting the boot. Ratatouille is good. Rio is kind of questionable with what they're wearing, so I think we'll get rid of that also. And then VeggieTales, good. The Peanuts movie, love it. So I think that's it for right here. So now I'm going through my husband and I's DVDs. So a lot of these are like comedies, because he likes comedy, and so some of them I haven't seen, so I'm not too sure how bad they are, so I'm going to let him go through them when he gets home. But I know like Along Came Polly was mine, and I'm not sure about that one, so I'm going to throw that on the side. This is actually a really great movie, Monumental by Kirk Cameron. It's kind of long, but it's really good, and it goes through the history and founding of America on Christian beliefs. Amazing movie. Looney Tunes, I think we're going to put that aside also. Oh, here's my skydiving movie. Skydiving Adventures. There's mine, and then there's my husband's skydiving. Okay, and then he has his, he has like films from when he was a kid that he's put on here. So I think I'm gonna let him go through the rest of these. Okay, and then let's pull out this next one. So rumor has it that's all about lust and things I probably shouldn't be watching. Raise Your Voice, I think that's okay. It's Hilary Duff. Big Fish, good movie. So yeah, I'm gonna go through the rest of these and get rid of some. So after going through my movies, these are the ones I'm gonna be tossing out. Bedazzled, Unfortunate Events, Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, Lake House, Uptown Girls, things like that. I also wanted to show you guys this movie. If you haven't seen Fireproof with Kirk Cameron, that's pretty good. And Walk to Remember is also a good one. So I had found those, and those are pretty good. Okay, so one of the last places that I actually store movies is in my coffee table for my living room. So inside here, it's pretty safe. We just have like a lot of Christmas movies, things like that. The only thing that really sticks out to me in here might be like the Jungle Book, but I think that's pretty much okay. A lot of this stuff I've had since I was like 3, so it's like over 25 years old. Like I have a lot of these Tiny Tot Poises and Weesing and Silly Bill, and like the old Winnie the Pooh VHSs, things like that. These, I think everything in here is okay. Alright guys, so I think that's about it for today. I have gone through all our VHSs and our DVDs. I've gotten rid of anything that is suggestive, provocative, evil, has sorcery, witchcraft, anything like that that would be under the scripture of not putting anything evil before our eyes. A lot of the provocative stuff, you might be like, oh my goodness, you have provocative stuff in your house. We had like one movie called Bedazzled, and I don't know if you guys have ever seen that. Hopefully not, but it's basically a supermodel that is the devil, and she like tricks this guy into like getting wishes and things like that. And the cover was very provocative with cleavage and things like that. So that went in the dumpster as well. So that's all I have for today. Thanks for watching. I really hope that this inspired you to go through your own DVD and VHS collection and see what you have that you may not actually want your children to see. I appreciate it.